You have had 2 years since the last time, where after saving the elven nation of Suramista and playing about with the deck of many things, you have all gone off to do your own things, sometimes adventuring together, sometimes hanging out with friends and family, or just taking care of whatever. You're gathering up today, the day before the fated final showdown, at Frieda's castle that she got from the deck of many things. A portal is opened to allow Falric to join, and Echo has been back on this world for a while now, since it was the deck of many things that actually brought him back. So you all gather.
I'm just wearing a light, floaty floral dress, running around with bare feet, whilst my character's boyfriend's female wolf's just asleep on the lawn. So is Teapot. We have a butler because I got a fighter last time. So he and my character's other half's in the kitchen just prepping for dinner.
Alpheus will ride into the garden on Maple Stirrup, having retrieved him, and he'll have white robes on with golden trim and a lovely big hood behind him. He has fluffy shoulder pads on though. Under one arm he'll carry a small, familiar marble elephant statue. And with Alpheus, he's got the rainbow blink dog, Morden Canine. And Snuffles, he's walking behind the horse.
You're looking fancy for tonight's activities.
Snuffles has been training now that he's awakened and has the capacity to fight beyond that of a simple animal. Being inspired by Alpheus's connection to nature, he wound up taking levels in Ranger, but he did pick up his own animal companion, which is a deranged-looking squirrel called Mr. Fibbles. It's a very crazy and almost rabies-riddled looking squirrel, but Snuffles loves it all the same.
Falric comes through the portal and
he's very, very muscular and very, very big.
if you haven't seen him before, Falric is a massive platinum blonde-haired, blazing golden-eyed, muscular beach god. Looks at the automaton man and says, "Hello." And he has a massive tattoo, as is bare-chested, of course, and he has a massive, massive tattoo which imitates his outline, his silhouette, and when he flexes, it kind of glows a bit with platinum glow.
Echo's going to just be standing aside in the shadows, and you just see a 7-foot warforged, but instead of like metal, you see like the ribcage of a Dracolich like, stitched into armor. You see the femur of another demon bone. He's literally a warforged, but he's wearing like Skyrim demon armor. His shield and his hammer's changed. There's my small purple pseudo dragon that's wrapped around my neck.
Cute.
I know it's rude to say, but dude, you look like hell.
I
Little
go
star
basically take Falric's hand and say, "Meet Echo."
I look at Snuffles.
I see you've had a rough time as well, eh?
Snuffles laughs. He appreciates a good pun. Ah, it's a good one. I've missed you.
I'm pretty big, hard to miss. I am a treat.
Look how big everyone is. Oh.
So,
I shout, "Alfred, bring the wine, please."
Who's Alfred?
Oh, that's
Yes.
our butler.
do you provide vegan and gluten-free diets?
Well, of course.
Thank
I'm a
you.
druid.
He says that.
I've turned vegan already and gluten-free.
The elves told me the mysteries of getting more swole with calisthenics and a strict diet of carrots. I think you all should consider veganism.
I just chug a glass of wine.
I chug a glass of water.
I chug a glass of carrots.
I chuck a pint of bacon.
Falric, it is wonderful to see you again. And Echo, it's amazing to see what you've become.
Now I'm back and time to relax a bit.
Time to relax, as in kill a huge, well-threatening monster.
Yes.
So when's the fight, eh?
That's tomorrow. Tonight we're just getting absolutely hammered.
So we'll arrive at the fight with a hangover. I see.
Don't worry, I'll have the restoration spells prepared for you all. That was Frieda's boyfriend, I forget his name.
Lothian.
Because he'll be helping
Yeah.
defend the home front.
Lothian is going to be staying under Mythglower with the rest of the locals.
We're expecting there to be trouble worldwide, so we've had to spread our forces out to all the predicted hotspots.
That makes sense. I mean, that's where Kano is right now. Her father requested her to protect the family and their homeland, and Kano couldn't resist, so she's gone to protect there. And similarly, Cassie's staying at home to do something similar, so it will be us tomorrow.
I completely forgot that you guys pooled a bunch of your money to get yourself a clockwork dragon.
Echo didn't see the dragon, but as soon as he does, he'll just grab a bunch of ale and just make his way over there and just get comfy by it. Start drinking.
Falric, before I forget, when I heard that you were returning, I decided to retrieve this little elephant that belonged to Barlam. I figured after all of this, you could probably give it to your son. It's called Crumpet.
Thank you. He's staying back in Elysium and being lazy there, doesn't want to take part in this worldly matter because he hates shenanigans. And this is pretty much the greatest shenanigan of all time. Anyway, thank you for the elephant. I think I'll ride it into battle. And they ate and they ate and they drank and they drank. And they smelled rank.
Eventually, you settle down for the night. Next morning, any hangovers will be cured, and you're picked up by Kyrie, the maiden of the Saggiths. She takes you all to underneath the Tree of Life, which is where the Noons all live amongst the roots. There is a large pool of water there in which you can see various images from around the world. Your friends and allies are all gathered up in their assigned locations. You see Frieda's parents that are located at the barrier that has trapped within it every single beholder and illithid that this world has once had, and they're expecting the barrier to come down, so they're ready there to try and handle that problem. You see Berkeley and Amy along with their adventuring crew and the Mighty Mutts gathered by Eldritch Lake, knowing that that area is a weak point in space-time due to the rift that you guys managed to close. So they're there to stop any other rifts. And around the world you see other teams protecting places of Eldritch interest. You'll see Snork and Eliso, as well as many other goblin and orc fighters gathering to protect their homeland. Kanomura is there leading a squad of ninjas and samurais to protect her homelands. You'll even see Walter O'Nally helping to shore up the defences of Bathmont. Everyone that you've met are all trying to do their part, whether big or small. Currently, the Norns are searching for any sign of trouble.
Is Mother Saggith here?
Yes, there are the three Saggiths, one young, one middle-aged and one old. You've met all but the oldest Saggith. They are ready, and anyone who does want to take part in the ritual to transform you into plant creatures, you can now take part in that. It's just to protect you from mind control.
I think this is proof that veganism is superior. I choose to become a plant.
I too will become a plant.
As a druid, I can just turn into some kind of plant creature.
I shall also like to become a plant, preferably a small primrose bush.
Is it like a topiary with
Yes.
thorns?
Yes.
Excellent.
Modern Canine, become a plant too.
With the ritual complete, you hear a murmuring from the two elder Saggiths. There's something wrong, I think it's here. Get yourself ready, it's time to go.
Death Ward, Blessing of the Salamander. Subject gets faster healing.
Fire resistance and combat maneuver defense +2.
Grants bonuses against death spells and negative energy.
I would like to start banging my shield and hammer together, and I will go from a medium creature to a huge creature.
Very good.
So I take on the stats of a troll.
Oh,
And then uses another spell, Righteous Might, to become essentially a celestial troll.
I would like to get my purple dragon dragon to use his wand of haste on me. And if I've got other charges, I can use it on whoever else.
I shall become colossal after flexing my massive muscles, and my tattoo glows bright purple, bright platinum, and then bright gold, and I become colossal.
Yes.
Alpheus will also draw a ring around the top of his head, and then after a burst of white light become Angel Alpheus with a halo and wings made of feathers. Here it comes, the Nameless One.
You see, about 500 feet away from you all, a truly otherworldly creature. Measuring only about 15 feet from head to toe, this thing looks to be an amphibious creature with a globular thorax, 3 eyes, 6 limbs. Each of those limbs terminate in a claw which resembles that of a crab. It is covered in what at first glance appears to be hair, but which is in fact a multitude of tiny tentacles. It stands there, motionless and silent, and looking towards the tree. You feel a great rumbling sound beneath you, and a screeching sound overhead. The druids are aware that the guardians of the tree come to protect it from any harm, as in the sky above, a colossal eagle comes swooping down towards the alien entity, and beneath it, a colossal dragon-like beast. These creatures are lunging towards the alien entity, but they're still about 300 feet away from it when they both drop down and submit themselves into a bow. The creature looks at them and then towards you lot with its 3 bulbous eyes conveying no emotional feeling. They are but a void. After it looks at you, the great bird and dragon turn to look at you, and they have a crazed look in their eye. These things were not turned into plants. It's time to roll.
5.
Just a heads up, you all do have hero points. I'm going to give you 3 for this fight.
I'd rather get the low roll out the way now, to be fair.
Joe got a 19.
Dave got a 10, and Tuomas got a 22.
Teapot, at the beginning of the fight, I cast Animal Growth.
So where's the Nameless One, or the old one?
He's on his way, but the other creatures will be with you for the moment. From long range, it is going to cast 2 spells. Falric, would you roll me a fortitude save, please? If you have spell resistance, do let me know.
I've got Bead of Mute Prevention. Can't be transmutated.
You can't be affected by transmutation spells?
Well, it's 1 use only.
Okay, well, let's see. You just rolled a very high fortitude save. You succeeded. You felt the ray strike you in the chest, and you felt it harden like you were turning to stone, but you shrugged that shit off as if it were nothing. And the next beam hits Echo. I need you to roll me a will save, please. Actually, no, you don't. You're immune to mind-affecting spells. You chose to become a plant, so you are hit by a spell that tries to crush your mind and make you incapable of using magic. It doesn't take hold because plant creatures are immune to that sort of shit.
That's why I love being a bush.
It moves closer. Up next is the Tempest Behemoth.
It's a bird.
It is flying quite high and shoot a ray of lightning that will hit Echo, Teapot, Frieda, Morton Canine, Alpheus, and Snuffles. I need all of you to make a reflex save.
I've got haste on me, so do I do with advantage?
I think haste gives you...
I think it gives you +1 to your reflex.
+1 reflex.
+1, sorry, yeah.
I'll roll 21.
27.
11.
So 21.
No one makes the reflex save, and Teapot is the only one who takes half damage.
By the way, what's the ranged attack?
200 feet. So what it is doing is shooting a bolt of lightning like a breath attack that does 15d6 electrical and 15d6 sonic.
Yeah, never mind. 82 points of damage.
Wow.
Now it is Falric's turn.
I will use a free action to activate my Mighty Strength, which gives me +8. So I got 50 strength now. And I will shout, and I'll also go into a rage as another free action because I think those are not really limited, in a sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
54 strength, Can I know what the reach of this guy is, this beacon?
It's 20.
Yeah, my reach is 30, so I'll take a few steps so I'm out of his reach, but if he walks forward, I'll get an attack of opportunity if he tries to get into his reach. So I'll 5-foot step and I'll hit him with a Giga Power Discombobulate. So what's AC?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, was this a 64 hit?
So that's 6 to 3 damage.
Multiple discombobulate.
I've got +5 Mighty Fist, so +5 weapons.
Does this thing have damage resistance? 15 epic.
So I deal
543.
Yes.
It's dead.
How high is the bird?
Fairly low down in order to get the line to hit everyone.
Can Snuffles jump onto its back?
If you run and make an acrobatics check, we'll take a look. He is hasted.
16!
Yeah, that'll do.
Is on the back of the creature, and I'll use a trip attack in lieu of the charge attack. So that's 41 against AC.
And then off of Snuffles' back comes Mr. Fibbles to also start biting the bird. Frieda and Teapot are up next.
Cure serious wounds mass.
On everyone that got hit.
Yeah.
So 35 hit points back to everyone. You still have a swift action.
Black tentacles greater.
You have a 300-foot range on that spell, Joe.
Yep, at the great big thing.
Okay, it's not great or big. It is about the same size as the animals. Echo, the dragon, and Falric are all massive compared to it. But this thing just has an overwhelming presence to it.
And is old and nameless.
They only attack evil creatures. Okay, that's fine. So you see, what's it? 120-foot radius spread of these giant black tentacles shoot out of the ground and attempt to wrap themselves around this other tentacle creature. And they do fail to wrap around it. You're going to also try and tackle the bird in midair, but you weren't able to hit it. Echo is up next, and the clockwork dragon.
I'll just get this bird out of the way so I'll take a full range attack, so I'm 6 attacks. And I'm also flying as well.
You are flying, I forgot about that. Your shield didn't actually hit it at all, so you don't get rend, but you give it a good old wallop in the noggin with your hammer. It didn't like that at all. What would you have the dragon do? It has a breath attack if you want.
Okay, I'll do that then.
A solid line of boiling hot steam shoots from the dragon's mouth and engulfs at least a part of the big old behemoth bird. It didn't seem to mind all that much, and that brings us to Alpheus and Morton Canine.
Given the range and everything, Warden Canine could just leap off and onto the creature.
That's a crit. He's an agile doggo, and yeah, he can make an attack roll if you like. He has the feat that means that he's considered flanking so long as he's next to an ally who also has that feat. He gets a +2 bonus for flanking. That hits. Morton Canine can actually make a second bite attack because his allies are around him that have the same feat.
Yeah.
It stays in the air, but it doesn't seem to like the fact that it has 3 big heavy animals biting it and weighing it down.
Alpheus is going to lift his arms up, cast Sunburst on the bird, which causes a globe of searing radiance to explode silently from a point you select, blinding all creatures and taking 6d6 points of damage. Then, with his sash, he will do the Macarena dance to gain the metamagic feat, Quicken, to cast Release the Hounds.
Oh no, what does that do?
The spell summons a pack of canines that respond to all spellcasters' commands and act in perfect unison, acting like a swarm. Let's see, it deals 3d6 points of damage and a distraction special attack.
How big is this swarm?
It uses the stats of a winter wolf, which is a large creature.
There are so many dogs, they take up a large creature's worth of space.
It's raining cats and dogs.
It's basically like those videos of a wasp invading a beehive and the bees just pile on top of it until it gets cooked under all of the bees. It is the Great Old One's turn. The creature is going to Dimension Door out of the black tentacles and behind all of you. It is also going to fire a Flesh to Stone on Frieda. So unless you have something that negates transmutation, roll a Fortitude save. Yeah, you succeed as well. You're hit by the beam that it used against Falric, and you feel an attempt to turn you into a statue, but you're able to shrug it off. So, up next is the bird, who is still covered in dogs. So Morton Canine takes 27 points of damage. He also now has the bleed effect on him, so he's going to take damage on his turn every round. The next attack will go for Snuffles. He takes 18 points of damage, which I've just reducted, and he's also bleeding. Next attack's on Teapot, and that will take 26 points of damage. And finally, it will try and hit the swarm of dogs, and that is going to do 48 damage to it. Falric, you're up now.
Yes, I think I'll take a 5-foot step, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got reach to the old one now, as it's going through the squares. And there's going to be discombobulation. And here goes the haste extra attack.
Every one of those hits except for Giga Flurry 3 and the haste extra attack. With DR taken off, he takes 428 damage.
Is it dead?
No, but it did not like that at all.
Can I use my hero points to reroll?
Yes.
I'll reroll my haste attack. Does it hit with a 60?
Yes.
If it's not disintegrated under my discombobulation, I'll reroll my Giga Flurry number 3. Hey! 78. Dum, dum, dum.
Oh my god, this thing is close.
No, I would have wanted the kill. Oh well, let someone else have it.
Okay, are you just going to do a full round attack with Snuffles?
Yup, 35 for trips.
That is a fail. So Frieda, you're up.
I cast World Wave.
That's a movement-based spell, isn't it?
Apparently, I surf on the earth itself to attack this thing. It's kind of like the attack is a tidal wave.
You're riding the wave, so you're trying to get behind it then, I take it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you move 8 times your movement speed in a straight line. So you're off the map.
Oh.
Yeet.
You just fly straight through it, standing atop a literal tsunami of dirt and plants and the roots of the world tree.
Bye.
And that does D20 plus 20.
11.
So yeah, that is your standard action. Once again, swift action wise, you have your rod to quicken spell and you can transform.
Sirocco.
So you create an area of effect that is a furnace of boiling hot wind blasting downwards. You can aim that to be behind the creature, affecting him but not the dragon.
Yeah.
That is a success. So now he gets a fortitude save against the spell. 23, so he made that. So that's 42 damage. Sirocco causes fatigue on anything that takes damage from it. Teapot's jumping off and attacking the old one.
Yeah.
Teapot charges it and tries to bite it, but is unable to get a good hold against this weird, writhing tentacle crab monstrosity. Echo is up.
I would like to try and use this spell strike, and I would like to try and use Head Explorer.
Okay, hit with your hammer first, because if the hammer doesn't hit, then the spell doesn't hit.
35 hit?
No, hold right on. You have Bane against Aberration, so that does +2 on attack rolls anyway. That's a hit now, yes. You need to roll to bypass its spell resistance.
So
And I
what's that?
believe you can use your Nanite Surge to
I
help
can't
with
because I
that.
haven't used it yet. I think it's 23. I think it's 3 plus level, I think. 6.
Thank God for Nanite Surge.
Yeah.
That will succeed only because of Nanite Surge. Head
not-
Exploder.
Does it explode heads?
Funny enough, yes it does. Description. Automatically kill the target if it has 20 HP or less. If you have more than 20 HP, they take 20d6 damage. If the target is killed by this spell, the head explodes and the shrapnel takes 2d6 slashing damage in attempted to radius.
Okay, it has more than 20 hit points, so it will make a fortitude save.
So if I use the maximum one, is that 20d6 or just normal?
It will be the maximum damage of 20d6, since you're using your once a day maximize spell.
Yep.
Okay, it will take half damage from that, so that's half 120, that'll be 60 damage on it. It is so close to death.
And then the dragon will go?
1 bite, 1 claw, 1 tail, and 1 wing all hit.
89.
It is in single digits. It's Alpheus's turn before this thing gets a turn.
Yeah, he's going to use Form of the Exotic Dragon 3 to turn into a Sovereign Dragon.
It's basically the fanciest, shiniest Chinese-style dragon Pathfinder has.
And I want to fly over to the old one and do 30-foot cone of Sonic.
You're too slow. Chili dogs.
Sonic breath, yeah.
You're flying above it, and you're about to shoot down an enormous cone attack. He failed his reflex save. Ed, 12d8.
46. Does a 46 do it, Steve?
With the combined efforts of Falric, Echo, Teapot, a Steam Dragon, and a Sovereign Imperial Dragon, this creature is taken down. But it petrifies and turns into a statue, and it has completely stopped moving. It is KO'd, but a statue remains. It is the Behemoth's turn, and the Behemoth has a way of resurrecting this thing if it can kill one of you. You guys, if you can defeat this Behemoth before it can kill someone, you've won.
Modern Canine hasn't acted yet.
Make your bite attack. Unfortunately, that is also a miss. The Behemoth is going to have to try and move. Everyone's technically riding it, but I will give all of them an attack of opportunity as it's trying to move adjacent to this thing.
38.
Okay, that will hit. So now it is going to try and sacrifice Modern Canine to resurrect the statue.
Sorry, would the dragon get an attack of opportunity because you flew past him?
Given Falric's reach, he probably gets an attack as it comes in low. So, Falric, Teapot, Echo, Steam Dragon, Imperial Sovereign Dragon. All of you make an attack of opportunity. That's a hit. As this giant monster bird comes swooping in low in order to get to the statue and make a living sacrifice to bring back the Eldritch God, we see as Falric, Echo, Teapot, a Steam Dragon, and Alpheus all wail into this thing, trying to stop it. And before he gets there, it dies as a bloody mess before it reaches the statue. And so, the battle, at least for now, is over. You now have a statue of a great old one sitting amongst the roots of this tree. What do you do?
Just we launch it into space.
I will try to first pummel it into dust. Will it do so?
Yes, you can destroy the statue.
I'll say no to him ever coming back to this multiverse. I use one of the grace of free denials.
What's that?
Say no to anything that would happen 3 times.
You realize that so long as any kind of statue of it exists anywhere in the multiverse, it can eventually come back in any of those statues. By destroying this one and using that power, you can essentially keep it from waking up, at least within this dimension.
Well, I did say multiverse.
Fair enough.
I asked the Norns it's safe to get wasted now.
Yeah, you've destroyed the statue and prevented it from being able to come back, ever. And that is one of the great old ones defeated. Next week, Cthulhu.
Alpheus Dragon twerks in celebration.
Hey, dragon, no, not twerk. I'll slap you away.
Week-long getting smashed at the Druid house.
No, it's a small eternity-long retreat to Elysium to get smashed.
Week
That's where I'll take you.
Go.
No.
1 week.
A small eternity.
1 week.
A small eternity, like a tiny eternity.
1 week of getting drunk before eternity.
With that, I think we will move on to what happens next. Those of you who wish to party for a week or for an eternity are able to do so. But what do your characters do with the rest of their lives?
When we go back to our base, that's when my character's parents get married, and we have basically a giant after party for a week. I help keep the Druidic order together with the festivals.
And during those times, Alpheus will travel the lands when he can to help out, teach people stuff, protect them, and with Kano by his side, I guess, as well.
Eventually, Frieda settles down. I don't know if Alpheus wants to settle down with his missus at one of the festivals, but that's what Frieda will do.
Probably not, but as he goes around travelling the world, will provide people with various types of vegan bacon. Following Falric's insights into veganism, he would start going into seeking forms of vegan bacon and then finding a delicious type. He will provide this to people, teaching them of its nutritional value and to cut down on eating meat.
And following Falric's lifestyle advice, you do get rather swole.
Huge.
Big boy biceps. Alpheus does not pursue any pathway to try and change his head and body back to how it was, however. He is content as it is.
And the world is a much better place for having you in it. Echo chose to return to the Dwarven Kingdom, where he vanished, where the people there herald him as a hero since he kept the princess alive throughout their entire time in hell. And he sets up a workshop to become a master weapon and armor smith, where he works to improve to the point that he can eventually make actual full-on artifacts. And he stole the steam dragon that you guys bought. He named it Bob, and it's now like his friend living in the dwarf city.
I take it on for full walks. I've got a lead and everything, and just like...
Yeah, the children play with it.
I would say that it is my emotional support pet. Actually, the 2 years in hell.
After all this circular stuff and killing and shenanigan and swirling and smarting to insane lengths and swirls and rain, they finally do not come back to the world, and they become as what they call petitioners, or actual inhabitants of Elysium, as in they will not go back from there unless they are reborn through the reincarnation cycle into this world. They will stay there forever and will not be able to travel between the planes and that kind of stuff. They settle there.
Well, thank you all for playing. I hope it lived up to everyone's expectations.
Thank you for running. It was a good game. Took a while. It really did.
Thank you for being our DM for the past 4.5 years, Steve.
Thank you everyone for listening. And from me and the rest of the Band of Bothers podcast, I'd like to say goodbye.
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 Final goodbye.